Hey guys, it's Ashley Nicole with Passion, Purpose, and Paychecks. And today we have joining us Neek Bay, founder of Relevant Systems. And you might just recognize him from Black Ink Crew Chicago. Neek, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
No, I'm really excited to have this conversation as well. I remember watching you on Black Ink Crew Chicago and hearing that you were an entrepreneur and really wanting to have you on. So thank you, thank you, thank you. This is like a dream come true.
Oh man, I'm flattered, and this is an amazing platform.
Tell us, Neek, what is Relevant Systems?
Relevant Systems is a startup application and software development company that I started. And basically our mission and purpose is to create applications for millennials, minorities, and just make more entrepreneurs tech entrepreneurs.
How did you start that business?
I actually started when I started learning computer science, which I've learned a little bit at Howard, and then I continued self-teaching myself, and I began to freelance for different, different people and different businesses. And how I was able to jump right into it was I just joined teams with different developers overseas, and I was able to really gain a lot of experience quickly.
So when you first started the company, it was pretty much just you, and then you had some people that you outsourced business to overseas?
Yeah, it was just me, and I started to recruit a lot overseas, whether they were students from different universities overseas or just developers that were new or developers that were old. And
how did you do that?
Language
barriers, time zone differences?
Right. Well, I'm a first generation American. My parents are Caribbean. They're immigrants from Haiti. And I've always had experience with being able to communicate with people that don't speak the same language as I. So that wasn't much of a problem for me. And what was important for me to recruit these people was to kind of not sell the dream, but let them know, like, look, this is a new American company. I have big dreams, and you can be a part of it.
And what are those big dreams?
I want to really be known for increasing the number of tech entrepreneurs, especially for minorities and for women. I believe that there are a lot of talented minorities and women that have great ideas, but they don't really know how to implement or execute these ideas. So I started this business to really cater to them and help them flesh out their ideas and really release applications under their names to really make them a tech entrepreneur.
I really like that. So if I'm someone with, and I actually have an app idea, which I won't share on air.
Okay, yeah.
We'll talk offline about it. But if I have an app idea and I come to your company, how does it work? So I just have an idea. I have no experience doing any mock-ups or coding. Can I just come with an idea and you all take it from idea to conception?
Definitely. We're a one-stop shop. This is the perfect place for you to go. It starts off with consultation. You tell me your idea, and well, actually, I'll tell you, it first starts off with a contract and a non-disclosure agreement.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I want to make sure everybody
feels comfortable
and understands that all the information that we speak of is confidential. And if we do happen to do business together, all the intellectual property that we create is owned by you. So that's the first step. Once we get that out the way, we're consulting. You tell me your idea, we just flush it out and figure out which functionalities we want to implement in the application. Once we get that, we will then create the design of all the screens. Every page is a screen. If you you go on a website and you have tabs. Each tab is a screen. Same thing for an app. So we design all the screens, and then we code each screen and its functionalities, and that's how you create an app.
I know that one of the largest barriers for most budding entrepreneurs is cost. If someone comes to you with an idea, what would be like the baseline cost, and what's the ceiling? Like, how high could your services go?
Well, I'll tell you this. I would say that I'm kind of in a lane all by myself, because average companies minimum for app design, for application, could cost about $25,000 to $50,000.
Yes.
And it's not unlikely for an average cost to be $100,000.
Yes, and I know that for myself when I was looking at getting an app developer involved and working with the company. It was like 50 grand, which is kind of daunting.
It's crazy, but the reason why it's like that is because the demand for engineers are so high, and there are not many engineers, especially minorities and women. So they really get paid a lot. So it's very hard for you to be able to go to an app developer and say, hey, can you do this app for me for $5,000 or $10,000 when they get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. My company, I've structured it to allow, if you did come to me for an app, I can do a prototype for you, a working prototype for $2,000. And this is an actual special that I'm now promoting. Like I said, I'm catering it towards minorities and women, but it's open to everybody. But the package not only includes the development, the coding, it also includes the design, and it also includes consultation. So you're not just coming with an idea and you don't necessarily know what to do, because that just costs a lot more money if you go anywhere else, because they have to wireframe everything and they have to do more because you don't have the full extremity of the idea.
Tell me some of your success stories.
I'll say the most important success story would have to be what kind of got me into development. I had a project with the National Science Foundation and another company called Gear Up, where I went to West Africa, Cameroon specifically, to design a weather station, because they actually have climate. They don't know the weather. Surprisingly, yes. They don't have weather stations, they don't have radio stations that tell people what the weather is, or TV channels that say what the weather is. And we have that easily. You pull up your phone, you can see 7-day forecast. So they won't know what today's weather is or what the weather was yesterday. So our project was to design a weather station to allow them to be able to read the weather. And it's funny because I think it's about 40% of the GDP of Cameroon is agriculture. And
it seems like then weather would be extremely important to gauge and know and track.
It's funny that how oblivious we are to how underdeveloped some countries are, where literally 70% of the population work in farms and they don't know the weather.
So would you consider yourself also to be a social entrepreneur, because you have these missions that are essentially social missions, increasing diversity in tech and then making sure that other countries have access to some of the luxuries that we just consider run of the mill?
Right, most definitely. I'm working on, being that I went to Africa, I actually went out there with a drone and GoPros and just took footage of everything. And I actually have enough videos to make my own, documentary. So I've been creating this documentary and, gearing it towards a new project that I want to do in Cameroon. So most definitely, social change is very important to me. Using innovation and technology to change the world is very important to me. And just being able to connect with different humanitarians that could help me, make this vision come true.
That is phenomenal. And I know you mentioned earlier when we were talking off camera that you have about 25 people that work under you. Is that full time?
Pretty much. Not all of them are full time, but majority of them are. We just make sure that those clients are coming in, and I give them enough work. But they not. Some of the employees don't exclusively work for me, being that they're freelance developers. They work for.
So some are independent contractors.
Some of them are also independent contractors, right? So there's a few employees that exclusively work for me. I have a virtual assistant. I have, someone running human resources, and payroll, stuff like that. So, yeah, that's pretty much how I structured it.
And how profitable is the business now?
Well, the crazy part is, when I started it, I was doing a lot of freelance. It was just me, you know what I mean? So now that I structured my business the way it is, and now I'm actually providing specials and doing applications in a public way, sales has increased, and it's doing really well. It's doing real. I say that it's doing really well. Right now I've just been focusing on. It hasn't been much about profit, which is hard to believe right now, because I'm trying to make as many tech entrepreneurs as possible. I'm trying to really create a story.
So back to the social mission.
Yeah, that's more important to me, because when it comes to money in this line of business, being that I'm all by myself, like I'm not worried about that. You know, it'll be.
And when you say all by yourself, what do you mean?
I am offering application and software services cheaper than anyone that you can find. So that's what I mean about all by myself. And
so you're literally in your own lane
I'm in
competitively.
I'm in my own entire lane, and I'm in my own race. And I say that to say my main focus is making as many female and minority entrepreneurs.
Well, we can help with that.
Yeah, that's my main focus right now. And I know that, you know, I'll get a company that wants a $100,000 app or a $50,000 app, or just want IT development. You know what I mean? Like, I know those big contracts are coming, and I'm in no rush for those. I'm really just wanting to focus on my foundation and making the purpose. You know, I want to reveal this purpose to everybody first.
So I know folks watching are probably wondering, how are you able to offer your services at such a phenomenal rate while not sacrificing quality?
Right.
How have you been able to do that?
It's funny because there's a few people outside of the business that would ask me, like, how do you recruit, and how do you, and I'm like, I usually don't tell my
The secret
I
sauce.
don't give my secrets, because, you know, it's like, it's company trust, you know, I mean, company trust stuff. So it's like, but the way I structured my company, you know, I for the people that I bring in internationally has obviously helped me a lot. Also with my skills as project managing and also developing has fast-tracked a lot of things as well, because this game is all about time, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you have this app and it's going to take me 6 months to make, it's going to cost you, you know what I mean? So right now, I'm really just focusing on working prototypes where it'll be 4 to 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks the most. So, you know, that's basically how I set it up.
So what do you do outside of work to de-stress? We have a lot of women guests on, and we always ask them about balance.
Right.
But is that something that you deal with as well, balancing?
Yeah, in a way. You know, I just remember when I was younger, I used to have so much, you know, I'm only 26, but when I was like, you know, 18, like 21, I had so much energy. I would bounce, I would party, you know, throw parties, all that stuff. And I just feel like an old man now. Like, I'm a very simple guy. Like, for me to balance, I watch a lot of movies. I watch a lot of TV. I read books. And, you know, I even got a video game, you know, I got a PS4 in my office where I just take 30 minutes or an hour out to just play games, because that's really good for cognitive skills.
To do something other than,
especially video games. Like, if you play video games for like 30 minutes to an hour a day, it really helps your cognitive skills, the way you focus and think.
Really?
Yeah, so.
I can see that. We had a gamer on this show,
Was
the
he saying
producer.
that?
It was a woman. She was a female
wow.
gamer, Sugar Gamers. She's the founder of Sugar Gamers.
Wow.
And she was interested in getting more women and minorities interested in the gaming industry. And she talks about all the benefits and like how it helped deals with depression. And now I'm learning about how it helps with productivity.
It's true.
And here I am keeping the Xbox out the house. I am just impairing our cognitive abilities. Like, I have to bring it in.
Bring it back. I mean, for me,
So I used to play Mario Brothers, but when I was younger.
Right.
But I don't remember being like, we should get a video game. Maybe we should.
Video games are good, honestly.
Really?
For me, I'm a very creative person, so an hour of video games helped me tremendously as far as how I think.
Because you do too much if you're just zoned in. And that's one of the things my eye doctor was telling me, was that I need to do 20 minutes. I would work very hard looking at a computer screen, but I need to look away every 20 minutes and do something else because of the way it impacts your eyes.
That makes a lot of sense, honestly. Like, for me, when it comes to video games, you know, like, I play like Call of Duty, so it's very like focus driven. Like, you have to, unless you're just going to die all the time, but you have to really be strategic. You have to, you know, you're working with the team, and it's a lot of things involved where, you know, it all helps. It all helps for me, creative.
So you have time to run this company with 25 or so people working underneath you, either as independent contractors or employees, and also you have time to play your video games every now and then, at least 30 minutes to an hour a day, and then you also have time to be on a reality show. How do you balance that? And what made you get into reality TV? I get the sense that you're not like a reality TV guy.
Right.
So what convinced you to do it?
My girlfriend, Charmaine, you know, it's obviously the only reason why I'm on reality TV. You know, me and her, it's funny because I came back from Africa. Actually, while I was in Africa, I had DM'd her because we went to the same school together, but we never spoke.
What school?
Howard
Oh, so
University.
is that where you all met originally?
We know of each other. Like she always knew of me, and I always seen her. I thought she was very attractive, but I've never spoken to her.
She's a very, very pretty woman.
Very attractive. We have a lot of mutual friends, so I never really understood why we didn't ever talk. But 4 or 5 years passed from you know, that's 2013, where around the time we met. I was a freshman, she was a sophomore. I was doing that Africa trip, and I had actually DM'd her. I was like, yo, I'm gonna be in Chicago.
So you did the Africa trip while at Howard?
So, no. Well, technically, I wasn't, because I had left Howard. But
So you went to Howard the first time, and my producers tell me you studied music, but realized...
I went to Howard the first time for business.
Okay.
I got heavily involved in the music industry doing management, and I left. I interned in Sony Music, Epic Records, under Ellie Reed and Sylvia Rohn. And then I spent some time there, and I went back to school.
While there, did you realize you weren't interested in the music business, or just not with the same vigor with which you had an interest in app development and computer science?
You know what? At that time, I had no idea I was going to do app development or even computer science just yet. At that time, I was doing, when I was interning, it was rough. It was super rough. Like 24/7, I'm in the offices of Sony. If I'm not in the offices, I'm in the studio, and you know, dealing with all these artists and whatever the case was. You know,
no time to play video games then.
Yeah, I don't ever remember playing video games then. I lost a lot of weight
because I
wasn't even eating. You know, the reason why I got into music to begin with was I was managing, and then I started interning in the A&R department because I wanted to sign talent. And you know, while I was there, I was just noticing all the the structure of the music industry is just not intact. And it's still to this day, it's not necessarily intact. You know, they have made a shift to streaming to cater to, you know, people are not buying CDs anymore. But when I was there, I was just kind of seeing, I don't, I would love to be successful in this business, but I felt like I could do more. And, you know, it wasn't like I was trying to quit because, you know, I was really trying to get promoted because I was trying to get a job.
Right, because you were an intern, so you wanted to be full-time, but you realized you could do more, so you decided to go back to Howard and do something different, but you took a little break from Howard.
Yeah.
What did you do when you went to Howard for the second time?
I studied computer science, and I started learning programming and coding. And
is that what fueled your passion for app development?
Yes. Once I started learning computer science, I actually went into research, and like all this kind of came full circle because of the music. You know, I'm like, man, there's so many ways I can develop the music industrial structure. You know what I mean? We can do this, we can do that, and it's actually how I was introduced to my now business manager. Like 4 or 5 years later, I used to go to this business manager named Horace Madison. Now he managed everybody from Outkast, you know, to Lil Wayne. He was Lil Wayne's business manager majority of, like, pretty much his entire career to like the last couple of years. You know, Meek Mill, Eve, everybody, like everybody. And I'm going to him. I remember I was like 20. You know, I'm going to him and I'm like, man, this whole music industry, like the structure, like it's so outdated. Like with technology coming in and everything with the whole, you know, tech boom, they still have the same structure and they haven't, you know, changed it. You know what I mean?
So it all comes full circle then.
Right. It was lack of innovation. So it all came full circle because now I noticed that my business manager was like, yo, you really remind me of Diddy, but you're a little bit smarter. You know what I mean? And that's what he said. He's like, you remind me of Diddy, but smarter, just the way you think. You know what I mean? And
Diddy can't do apps on the side, that's for sure.
So I mean, I never hear that. And Diddy was one of my main influence of even going to Howard.
I mean, he is a mogul for sure.
Definitely. So that kind of fueled me to really get involved in business development. And then it was like more so, let me get on the tech side. So back to the whole research thing, I got involved with research development because research is all about identifying the problems, you know what I mean? And the development side is the solution to the problem.
So that research kind of formed the basis from which you started the business then.
Right, exactly. And my success in Cameroon, we made a weather station in 3 weeks, and then
an entire weather station.
An entire remote weather station.
Is it still running today?
It is. It is still running today. And the last week of our trip, I led the team to engineer the first portable weather station because I felt that it was important for farmers to have a portable station instead of having to run or go all the way down where the university was just to see the readings. So we engineered this portable box portable weather station, and immediately after we finished the prototype, one of the biggest radio stations, which is also a TV station, contacted us and interviewed us, and you know what I mean, and was just shocked. You know what I mean, like it's crazy. You know what I mean? It really is. They really don't have a weather station. So he was just like, "Are you really telling me that we have a weather station?" And he was just like super excited, and so seeing that, I just wanted to do more for my people in any way, shape, or form.
And I love that, and I feel that because it's important to do so. And even being a Black woman lawyer, there's so few of us in large, really, really profitable law firms. And so there's always this sense that you have to do something for those that look like you, because if you're there, it's for a reason.
100%.
I mean, and even just being there, like being in your position, I'm sure people look at you even without ever meeting you, and they're inspired by the fact that you're doing this. Not only are you doing it and you can develop apps, but you're helping other businesses.
100%.
Now, your business is obviously profitable and successful. How has reality TV been a positive influence to your business? Because we always hear the negatives, and we see the negatives, and we see the fights and the edits and all of that. But I think that there is something, first off, I am a corporate lawyer, but I love reality TV.
Right.
I think everyone watches it. It doesn't matter who you are. Like, there is something interesting about watching other people's lives play out, and you get connected to the characters.
Definitely.
And everyone on Black & Crew Chicago, I'm just really impressed with, because you all run businesses.
Right, yeah.
All of them are entrepreneurs in their own right, and your girlfriend is also an entrepreneur. I saw that she does aprons.
Yep.
Is that right? Okay, great.
Yep.
That's dope. We should have her on and talk to her about that.
Yeah, you should.
But how has reality TV been a positive influence in your life? Because I don't want to talk about the negative. I always hear about the negative. How has it been positive for your business and for your brand?
Well, I'll say this. I actually was, when I first started the company, it wasn't a public thing. Like, I wasn't publicly offering services to people. It was more so, that's how I made my money. I work on different teams, and that's what I did. It wasn't like I have a company.
So you started the company, but you were outsourcing your own private services.
Right.
But you weren't doing it for others.
I was being paid through my company, but it was just me.
Oh, I see.
And then, around the time that we started filming, that was the time I was structuring my business. So, ironically, everything kind of was like perfect in releasing. Like, I publicly released the company for services for people, probably a few episodes, maybe like towards the end of the season. But I literally just publicly started expressing to people that I would do apps for them. So, as far as how the show has helped me, I'll tell you this: you don't really see a lot of people in positive light in reality TV, because it's like a seesaw. They want to be able to show you up, and they want to show you down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
I think they've shown you in a positive light, though.
Yeah, I'm probably one of the only ones that was able to successfully be positive on
That's
TV.
probably true. I mean, everyone else, I think, is shown in a positive light at some point.
At some point.
But your brand is
From A to Z.
consistently untarnished, which I think is great. And that's actually why we were like, oh, we should have him on. He's an entrepreneur. Obviously, he does reality for his girlfriend, which is which I love because it's supportive. My husband is very introverted, so he would never, he's done, like what you've seen, the videos of him and I talking, he did that only for me, because he is just, he is petrified when we're out and people will be like, so I heard about your most embarrassing story, and he's just like, I hate that you do this show. Like, I don't understand why. He's like, why do people know about us? And, you know, we've had friends that have said, we feel like we know you better because we watch your videos. And I'm like, oh, that's so great. And he's just like, this is horrible. Like, we should not. Why do you want to tell people our business? Like, I'm just like, why not? People could learn.
I'm exactly, you know, like I said, from 18.
You all would get along. I mean, he's probably, he always stops by the studio when we're recording sometimes, but like, he is not. He's an introverted person, but he supports me so much that he will be extroverted in short spurts for me.
That sounds exactly like me. And, only because, well, a lot of people that know me would be like, what? You're an extrovert. You know, I was, like in high school, middle school, I was always cracking jokes, making people laugh. I played basketball, you know what I mean? I was always out there, you know what I mean? Went to Howard. I was probably one of the only ones to leave my city to go out to college, like go out of state.
Where are you originally from?
Elizabeth, New Jersey.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So East Coast.
East Coast, yeah. So I was always out there, man, but as time's going by, and I guess I just became a little bit more serious about myself and my vision and what I want to do.
I mean, you have a lot going on, and I think that's one of the things with him as well, is he's running the Kirkwood Foundation, our nonprofit, full-time. He's a full-time student in counseling, and he's going to eventually pursue possibly a doctorate. So he has a lot going on, and so he's just like, I don't know why you want to fill up my little bit of free time, not with video games, but like with recording. So I understand that. But I admire the fact that you respect her enough to do it, and I hope that, I wish you all the best. I think it's a beautiful relationship that's also portrayed beautifully. But I just hope that as time goes on and as she grows, which she will grow, and you grow, that you all just always grow together.
Definitely.
Always.
That's important.
Yeah, because it's great that you support her, and that's good to see.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen the first 2 seasons. As a single woman, she was very comfortable with herself, and she had her fun, and people tried to shun her for that.
She was unbelievably comfortable.
Right, and that's why I fell in love with her, because she's herself, and she's true to herself.
And when people tried to shun her for that, how were you able to support her even in that? Because as confident, because I'm a confident woman, and I know, like in college, Lord, if people in the legal world were to have a glimpse into my life as a college party girl in Champaign, I don't know whether they'd be like, that Ashley, she's so darn respectable. You know what I mean? Like, everyone has moments. The only difference between me and Charmaine is that hers played out on camera.
Right.
But I can't say that I've never had moments like that. You know what I mean? Like, most women have moments. They just hide it, and it's not on reality TV.
Right. Now, that's funny. Before I reached out to Charmaine when I was in Africa, actually, when I was in DC randomly, she had a club appearance. And she was at my boy had this little house party, so I seen her. And the first thing I told her was like, don't care about these haters. Keep doing what you're doing. If they was in your shoes, they'll do even worse.
So the relationship started with support.
It started with support.
That's dope.
It started with support. Like, that was literally the first thing I told her when I seen her. And I
like that y'all are actually a couple, because I remember talking to the producers and I was like, well, I know that on the show they're together, but I don't know if that means, because people say reality TV isn't real, and I'm sure there's some parts that are edited, so it's not portrayed accurately in some instances, but it's nice to know that you all are actually a couple.
Yeah, we are definitely a couple.
That's dope.
Hopefully we can be a great example.
Well, you can go on and put her in the wife club whenever you want. We would love to have her. Go on and put her in the wife's club.
The wife's club, right. Yeah, that'll come eventually.
I like that. Well, I mean, you've been amazing to speak with. I like that you support your woman, even though you have a lot going on as well. And I like that you both have a lot going on.
Definitely.
'Cause you don't always see that, especially in black couples. They always say black love this, black love that. But young black love is typically not portrayed in a positive light. And I think you all are doing an awesome job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, as far as me, I'm 100% responsible for my relationship. I think in this new age, it's hard to be faithful and be single, but
oh no,
be faithful and,
it ain't hard to be faithful now, brother.
I mean, for men, it is very hard.
Well,
for
so
men to
you're
be
on
a-
TV, so I don't know, because people always say with my husband, they're like, well, you know, my man talks to this woman and made me uncomfortable. I was like, my husband doesn't know hoes. Like, he just doesn't know hoes. Like, he's just not permitted to just know hoes and they just DM. He doesn't even have a DM. Like, you can't slide in it. He doesn't have one. He's not on Instagram. He's not public. So it makes it a little bit easier.
That makes it a lot easier.
And he's an assistant pastor, so it makes it a lot. Like, the women he knows, they're not like hoes. And if they had a little past, it doesn't mean they're hoes now. It means they're just trying to get their lives right. But for you, I'm not saying you know a lot of hoes, because I don't believe in that word describing women necessarily. But you are more accessible to women of all kinds. Like, you're not really a pastor, so it's not like women are inboxing you to get prayer. And I look out for them too. Like, even when they inbox him to get prayer, I'm like, oh, no. We can both pray, babe. Like, you don't need private prayer with my husband. Inappropriate. But for you, I bet they're not even trying to come in your inbox for prayer. They're probably like, because on the show, you're also portrayed as a very wealthy man. So then I'm sure you attract women that are like, oh, Charmaine's traveling. He's wealthy. We've seen the condo. They're probably trying to slide up to the condo. But you got to cut them off.
I'll be getting the DMs. Honestly, I said it's hard as a general statement. For me, it's not hard. You know what I mean?
That's what I like to hear.
I went to Howard. There's a lot of women there.
A lot of beautiful women at Howard.
A lot of beautiful. It's not just a lot of women. It's a lot of beautiful,
a lot of
intelligent
smart women.
So it's like all your types.
Then you have beautiful, intelligent, smart black women at Howard.
Exactly. So, and even before that, high school, you know, I was a ladies' man. So I say that just to say I'm over all that. You know, I'm over running around. So.
And as soon as you say that, there's somebody watching. I know you're out there, sister. Like, I bet I can. Don't even try it. I got Charmaine's back on this. You let me know.
You could try. I mean, nobody was successful. I mean, it's gonna be like that. I'm definitely not gonna put myself in a situation.
And that's the thing. You cut it off early, and you always have. Because people say cheating is like having sex with someone else or sleeping with someone else, and it's not. It's having a conversation with someone else that you would be uncomfortable if your spouse saw it. Like, would it make them uncomfortable? Would you have it if she or he was right there? If not, you're essentially
cheating.
That's
like the advanced definition.
That's the definition I use.
That's hard.
I think women will like that. I think men will adopt that definition, and I think women should adopt that definition. So there you go, ladies. That defines cheating.
There you go.
So we've talked about love, we've talked about career, we've talked a lot about entrepreneurship. What one piece of advice would you give to someone wanting to start an app, but they don't know where to start?
I would say, because everything, literally everything, anything that you see always starts with an idea, you know, and just continue to think as much as you can about that idea. Research as much as you can. If it's an app that already exists, a similar, research that one. And just flesh out the ideas as much as possible. You know, you can find inspiration in so many different ways, whether it's a movie, a picture, you know, or, you know, just conversation.
Now, where can we connect with you? How do we connect with you? Give us your Instagram handles, your website for your business. Let our viewers know how they can connect with you.
Instagram is Neek Bey, Neekbey, as well as Twitter, Neekbey, and website is relevant.systems, no .com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, guys, this has been a lively conversation with Neek Bey. I have thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I hope you all have enjoyed as well. Subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our interviews. We are having a launch party February 9th at Eloquy in Chicago, so please join us for that, and follow me at Passion, Purpose, and Paychecks. My website is passionpurposeandpaychecks.com, and if you know someone that we should feature, drop us a line, admin@passionpurposeandpaychecks.com. Until next time, it's Ashley Nicole with Passion, Purpose, and Paychecks. Thanks, guys.